there's probably going to be a lot less time between videos now. That last one was a real project. That took me a lot of effort to get that last one together. So hopefully I'm going to start hitting a stride again now. More on Craft Season 2 is about to kick off, and I think I've got a few other bits in the pipeline as well. Hello and welcome to Creative Collective, the series where I build stuff based on the ideas that you guys give me in the comments section. First I want to say thank you so much for getting involved in the last one. I really appreciate the engagement, and please do put a comment down below letting me know what you'd like to see me build next. Now, I had 2 comments in the last video calling for a castle. Felix went medieval and Abby suggested something from my favourite historical period, so there was a little tidy overlap here. I'm going to talk about this castle a little bit more while we start the time lapse. The first thing I needed was a decent place to build, so I found this little bend in the river and decided to situate the castle around that. I started by clearing some trees and plotting out the floor plans for both the bridge and the castle itself before starting to build things up properly. For some insane reason, I thought I'd try working with diagonals. I found it to be pretty difficult work. It was pretty much all I could do to just smash some shapes into each other and make them look like they almost work. I didn't have a clue how I would manage to get the fine details in later. I did use some historical references when creating this. I liked the castle at Rochester for its even squares and castellations and how ridiculously tall it is relative to its width, but I found it to be a bit too simplistic in shape. I wanted that kind of multi-tiered feeling with all of the different complex shapes that one might find at Bamborough or Alnwick or some of the other castles in the north. Ultimately, I only really took inspiration from the shapes, and even those got distorted because I got into the flow of it and started delving into my old high fantasy Dungeons and Dragons habits and not my considerably less practiced actually thinking about what a castle is supposed to do habits. Hence the spiral staircase with no way of stopping people falling straight down the middle. I decided to start a bit small with this one and just work on the outside of the building. It is currently unfurnished with no specifically dedicated rooms or decoration, and I'd be interested to hear your ideas on what maybe I could or should put inside it. There's a little bit of a vague colour scheme here, and it's my usual go-to, almost an entirely grey and white palette, though I did experiment down at low level with deep slate as well as blackstone and some other much darker blocks. I tried using the whiter blocks as an edge highlight for all of the major shapes. In some places it really works and I love it, but I think that I have made it a little confusing to look at and it's confused some of the shapes. This might be a result of the diagonals or the physical size of the building. Had the building been larger, I could have put in a 2-block wide white highlight and it wouldn't have taken up anywhere near as much space on any of the individual facades. I really enjoyed adding the ruining effects to the bottom parts of the castle and getting the outside looking nice and organic and old and overgrown. I haven't got much of a story to tell with this one at the moment, but I'm glad to have had the opportunity to make it. I've made a tiny little dock out the back here, which I think is really cute. I can definitely see this as more of a building that's designed to be lived in or traded at rather than actually defended. It's almost more like an outpost than a castle really, but I'm into it and I've learned a lot just from talking about it. And there's a lot of things that I've done in this build that would be carried up and scaled up if I were going to build a bigger, more proper castle. So it could tie in really nicely with like a universal colour scheme for a series of buildings together as part of the same civilization. So that is pretty much this building in a nutshell. Hopefully this has been fun and entertaining for you guys. I certainly enjoyed building it, and please do let me know in the comment section below what's next. Am I going to build something else? Am I going to continue with the castle? Am I going to build something under the castle? Who knows? You do. I'm going to shut up. Yeah, I'd love it if you commented. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.